Well, outside of the video store is a show called Off Our Stones. We got Andrew and me and a friend Cody. We're gonna rank some fucking songs. Rank some songs, the songs gonna rank songs. The longest list in the whole damn town. Longer than old King Kong. I'm meaner than a junkyard dog.
God, I couldn't tell if the malfunction was causing him to speed up and then slow down and then speed up again, or if he was just digging around with us.
Oh no.
It was a nice remix.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to Off Our Stones, the show where Brooklyn and I looked at the Rolling Stone Top 500 list and went, I don't know, you want to try to do this as well?
It needs more acid. It needs more acid, Jeff.
Look, I'm not doing acid. I'm not adding any more acid to anything unless it's citric acid.
It's lemons. It's all about lemons.
Okay, good. That I can do. Aside from deliver bad jokes, Brooklyn and I came up with our own top 500 lists. And then we took the numbers and combined them to make an overall 500 list. And then we have Cody here. Cody is the voice of the people because Brooklyn and I are pretentious music snobs. Cody's basically going to yell at us this episode if we put something on the list that sucks, or if it's in the wrong place, or just if he wants to yell at us in general. Cody, how you doing today?
I'm good. Back last episode, I rewatched the episode. It's episode 13 with "I Will Always Love You" from Dolly Parton. I talk in that entire thing at length, like, oh, well, I choose the other version over this version, but hey, it's on the list. It represents the song, whatever. So BS, still holding you both in contempt of treason. This makes no sense. This list is top 500. This is 499 with two of the same songs.
And guess what? I got confirmation from Payson that we said a song can appear twice.
I don't believe it.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for doing the fact checking. You're doing the hard work of this shit.
That's dumb. Because then what's the point of putting it on there twice? It makes no sense. It's the same song. Anyways, yeah, I'm fine. We're almost, is this the second to last episode, right?
Second to last episode.
Almost.
Yeah, so about 30 of these I've seen your nasty mugs for almost an hour and a half each time. So, God, and I got zero pay from this. So, holy shit, it was a terrible negotiation, by the way. Only 5 vetoes with your terrible taste. I should have got 10. I know that was discussed at the beginning.
Just think about how your music knowledge has expanded over this time. You've stated before that you're not a music guy, but like you could say that you're like at least some of a music guy now.
So honestly, going into this, I thought, holy crap, I'm gonna hate Brooklyn. I've learned more of this. Bar sucks at music. Like sucks. Like doesn't know music from his ass and the whole. You may have lost that beginning section. But since then, it has been complete just annihilation. It's just gross.
Well, shame that we didn't do any more betting after that.
I think we need to build a playlist for Bar.
Yeah. I have an idea, but I'm going to let it sit in the back burner until it's ready.
I like it.
All right. Let's move on. Because we are in the top 20. We're almost there, guys. Starting at number 20, which I think is just way too fucking low in this section of the list. A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. This is my number 2. This is my number 2 song of all time. Oh my God, the strings and the horns in this song just sound amazing. Sam Cooke is the most amazing sound in this, obviously, but the strings and the horns just blend so beautifully together. And then you get that swell, and you just get Sam Cooke like singing, "I was born by the river," and just like absolutely laying his heart and soul onto the track. It is just a monumental piece. and you feel his pain, which is like, that's a white guy saying this about a change is gonna come, but you feel it through every fiber of your being, the way that Sam Cooke is singing, um, especially the part about calling brother help me please, but he winds up knocking me and I'm on my knees. It's absolutely incredible. And 20, I'm happy that it's in the top 20. It still should be higher.
I appreciate this song. I like if you were giving it like the Gen Z sort of ranking of like S A tier, it's like it's high A for me. I know. I think it's strong point.
It's 83 on your list.
Exactly, but exactly though. Like
you hold on to S tier music like I hold on to 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Are you surprised though? But like I'm not saying that it's a bad song. Obviously, it's a top 100 song. I think its strong points are in its lyrics and the story that it tells. I love the verse of like I go to the movie and I go downtown and somebody keep telling me like don't hang around. Like you get so much in 4 lines, and how he progresses through it and whatnot. I just think the production on it is good. Like it's executed well. It just doesn't, like, when I think of like, I don't know.
Okay.
It's like,
You put Brian Wilson above this song.
Great story, incredible production. This is like incredible lyrics, but the production is like, it wants to break the ceiling, but it's just getting there. It can't quite. Yeah.
Okay, Cody, just help me out here.
I think if your song's in the top 20, you can't really argue higher or lower. Like the top 20 is separated by such little bit. So at that point, like you've like there's a scenario that you have this at 2 and Brooklyn had this at 499 and you're talking about this weeks ago. So like for it to be top 20 of all time, hats off. Like your number 1, it didn't even survive. Like be thankful. Anyways, correct song, wrong artist. I love Otis Redding's version of this song more. His voice just is deeper, and I think like I feel more from it. I don't think you're incorrect. I think correct me if I'm wrong. This was very high up on the. Was this high up on the other?
It was. I think it was in the top 25, if not maybe top 10.
I think it actually may have been top 15. I don't remember though.
Yeah.
I can actually find that out.
Yeah. Either
it was on. It was on the last episode we did for that series.
So either way, they're like either correct on that, or you guys are dumb for putting it. Either way, but overall,
it was number 3.
Yeah, I knew it was. I thought it was pretty high. I think it's a fantastic song. I kind of agree a little bit with Brooklyn with the production behind it. I think it's a lot of like flash and things, but like not a lot of, like that pairs with those words. Like I think like with the lyrics, I would almost take like a toned down version of the song, like without all the extras, because I think it would be more impactful. I think it takes away a little bit from the song. But again, if you haven't checked out Otis Redding's version of it, I think he does an amazing job of it.
He really does.
But yeah, top 20.
All right, moving on to number 19 then. The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel. Brooklyn, you have
now that's more your 2 speeds right there. Bunch of white guys doing Simon and Garfunkel.
So I didn't really get into my Simon and Garfunkel phase until college. It was specifically during my internship, and my chefs in particular were very adamant on me exploring like the 70s and 60s. Because at that time, I was like Coho, like top 40 was king. So they really forced me to kind of go in, and this was the first song that they introduced. And at first I was like, okay, it's cool, but then I started to play it, and it's just an incredible story. There was a long time where like if I was playing an open mic or anything, this was the song that I always opened with. I just really like. I really like the chord progression of it and whatnot, and how it kind of takes the little breaks. I think my favorite verse is actually like the title verse, I guess you would say, in the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade. And I like how the production sort of builds on that. I think we've talked about it before, Andrew, kind of the little Jew harp that you get, and especially in the lines like this time listening to it, it was like, oh, they kind of used that to emphasis like the cut down till he cried out, kind of emphasizing the punches that are kind of thrown and kind of like the buzz that kind of gets from it. And then that's kind of like doubled down with the floor tom, or the bass drum rather, in the kit. But the one thing I do want to shout out is the low brass on the end, because it gives it that kind of like lighthouse at like 2 a.m. sort of feel, kind of like a mysticism to it and whatnot. You can the kind of give us the effect of like hearing the waves crashing and whatnot. But yeah, Paul Simon's voice is incredibly soft, as it often always is. And yeah, I think this is their best song.
I wouldn't say it's their best song, but I would probably put this at either 2 or 3, depending on how I'm feeling about Bridge Over Troubled Water that day. But yeah, the lyricism in this is just absolutely fantastic. Especially the verse about the come on from the whores on 7th Avenue. You kind of really capture the loneliness that your protagonist is feeling in this song. And you're right that the verse about the actual boxer is just like incredibly well written. I like the grandioseness that like the ending really provides. They were able to really capture that snare drum sound and just make it epic. And the way that they did that apparently was to just have a snare drum in an elevator shaft.
That makes sense though.
Yeah, you're right. Acoustically, that just sounds amazing. But yeah, it's the little touches like the mouth harp, the horns. It's a French horn, I think. I want to say.
And no, near the end, that's absolutely tuba.
A tuba.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, tuba euphonium.
But yeah, it captures just like a whole range of emotions. This is the song that, if Hollywood decided that they were going to start doing this, which, please Hollywood, don't do this. But if they were going to make a movie out of a song, this would probably be the song that I would propose.
We've debated this before. Actually.
We have.
And I did it with another song on this list. That's somewhere. I forget what channel was that on.
Opening night, I want to say. I don't remember.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was so long ago.
Anthony Tisdale hosted.
Yeah,
many moons ago. Yeah.
Great match though, Cody.
Yeah.
Okay, I cannot sit here and sitting here listening to you two. No, this isn't their best song, and the other song you chose was also not their best. So,
it's the
Sound of Silence.
Yeah,
Sound of Silence is the best song. It's not even close. Whatever. I'll be real honest with you. I've never heard this song before today.
Really?
And I don't know how. I wouldn't say that I just, turn on the Simon and Garfunkel all the time, unless it's with Dustin Hoffman in The Graduate. But, and I had to check, I was like, is this featured in The Graduate? No, it's not. And if it is, then it's credit or something. I don't know. But overall, I think it's an interesting song. I always like how Simon and Garfunkel sound together. It's kind of like a mixture between two nerds that you would throw into a locker, but they sound cool enough to carry through songs to make it interesting for me. So yeah, overall, for a first time listen for this week and a half I've had this playlist, I think it's a strong choice. This high with Sound of Silence way down is crazy to me.
Well, don't forget, Brooklyn didn't even have Sound of Silence on his list.
Holy
No,
And I had it at like
I'm not. Yeah,
4.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah. But how many freaking Wiggle songs did you have on there? Probably a few.
fruit salad, yummy, yummy, motherfucker.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Garbage.
That song and that song alone has put me in an act of vengeance. I will get my comeuppance.
I need the sound of silence to happen to your mouth right now. I need.
Moving on to number 18. There we go. B.O.B. Bombs Over Baghdad by Outkast. Brooklyn, you have this one higher.
Yeah, so I think for everybody in our generation, this is probably the first song that you heard from Outkast. And what a way to sort of no,
absolutely not.
You
Oh,
don't
okay.
think like sure. This is probably the more popular, but if you don't think Hey Ya was on it, Hey Ya and
Miss
no,
Jackson.
no.
Miss Jackson.
No. I'm asking if this is the first song that you heard by them. That's what
Nope.
I'm asking. No.
Nope.
This came out
Roses.
before. Okay.
Roses,
So-
Hey Ya, Miss Jackson, all way like I don't think this one got any. Again, depending on part of country, Bombs Over Baghdad did not play. Like I heard this later in life.
I have to look this up. Now because
It may have came out sooner, but it definitely wasn't the first one I ever heard. The first Outkast song I've ever heard. When did Miss Jackson come out? Was that number one first?
Same album. So
Of
2001.
this song?
Yeah.
And Hey Ya's not on this album, right?
Next album.
Right. So it's Miss Jackson. Yeah. Miss Jackson was definitely the first one I heard. And then I heard Hey Ya before I heard Bombs Over Baghdad.
Okay.
And
we're going to the true source because I need to know this now.
Right. As you do that, I'll talk.
Go.
Yo, this legitimately may be the best produced.
Yo, don't lead with yo. You sound fucking Casper.
I am sponsored.
Yes.
I am sponsored by Cool Ranch. But this may be the best production on a hip hop song I've ever heard. It is crazy. Like Andre and Big Boy are just rapping their asses off on this. And then you get that ending that just starts to get, it like builds and builds and builds. And it's already at 100. And it just like keeps ramping it up with the 808 drums and the choir and the freaking electric guitar. It is just an absolute cacophony of just like incredible music happening at the end. And then, look, we all know Andre is one of the greatest rappers of all time. Absolutely. Big Boy deserves his spot in the conversation for that top 10 on this alone. Like, he is going so hard in his verse. The part about his kids is just like his flow in that is just like absolutely incredible. It is just an incredible piece that came together that could have fallen apart at the seams real easily, but it walks that tightrope incredibly well.
Okay, so after my research, the singles released from Stankonia by release order, March 13th, 2001, So Fresh, So Clean. Miss Jackson, October 24th, 2000. September 19th, 2000, Bombs Over Baghdad. It was the first single released off of this album. Anyways.
Cool.
That does not help your case.
It does help my case in that this is probably the first song that a lot of our generation heard.
No!
Anyways, the song is... Let me get to the song. The song is incredible. There's a baby sleeping in the other room here. I need to calm down. So, yeah, like Andrew said, it hits the ground running. I like how Andre 3000 kind of like is intentionally changing the rhythm over like after every like 4 lines or whatever, and then you get that line of like something done in the sale. Look at what came in the mail, and then they get the little ha like as like the little rest, and this adds so much and gives it a little bit of a skip. again, an incredible chorus. It's so easy for the casual fans or like anybody hearing the song for the first time. It's like, oh yeah, bombs over Baghdad, and it's very simplistic in that. Andrew, you're talking about like Big Boy's verse and how incredible that was, and like Andre 3000 even admits like Big Boy is the better rapper in Outkast, and Andre is given like Mount Rushmore. Even like I think Eminem has Andre as his best.
Still well deserved, but
absolutely, yeah. I also like the weird sort of change because they dip into a little bit of rock, which is like really kind of uncharted for them. But then it's a good transition into that little kind of gospel-esque ending, and kind of how the synth plays in over that. But yeah, it's a great song if you haven't listened to it somehow. But yes, I would put it in at least the top 3 of best Outkast songs.
Yeah, it gets you motherfucking hyped, honestly. Cody, did you feel the hype?
Yeah, I'm gonna lose a lot of people here. I'm not a big fan of this song. I don't like it as much. Talented, absolutely. Construction, sure. I can't understand the fucking words. It's so fast, and I understand that's like an art form, and that's great. It just doesn't fit for me. Like, I like the other versions of Outkast songs better, and like the goofier ones, I would say. Like, and that's fine. I can't deny the talent and the ability that they're able to do in this song and how it's sing. This also hurts because, unlike Brooklyn would like to recognize, because PI does things different, this song I didn't hear till I was 16, 18, like later in life.
That's crazy.
It just completely
skipped for me, actually.
It completely skipped all of like. I watched Andre 3000 for years shake that damn picture on with his freaking suspenders, singing "Hey Ya." I saw "Sorry Miss Jackson" multiple times. I saw "Roses," and then all of a sudden, I was just thinking one day and said, "Bombs Over Bat. What is this?" And I listened. Holy, what is this? It just didn't sound like it. So it was completely just off my radar. Now that could be the Missouri in us that's like, man, these people speak too fast. We're not going to play them. Like, I don't know, but it didn't happen on me, so can't do anything for you.
I first discovered this song when I found out that there was a list of songs banned from radio after 9/11, and this one being one of them. That's the only reason I discovered it.
You know what?
It's the same reason
that I never heard of it. Missouri's still on that ban list. We're like, nope, absolutely not.
Those are the same parents that are like, Grand Theft Auto is too violent. It shouldn't be here. It's a sandbox game.
I played No Russian on Modern Warfare. Just like then they let me play that one. Fine.
I mean, this list included things like "I'm on Fire" by Bruce Springsteen, so it was a wild list anyway.
Well, that one kind of checked out.
Hey, moving on to number 17. Heroes by David Bowie. I'm so tempted just to throw this to Cody first, but Brooklyn.
I will say though, like on listening to the list, I think this might have the best chance to get Cody's liking. Just given how subtly rock heavy it is. It has like some kind of tones that are kind of prelude into the 80s and whatnot. I really like the build of it. It starts off very soft. That lead guitar, I think it's like an electric guitar with maybe like a slide figure on it, or it's something to kind of give it this like really glissy sort of sound. But then you get the bass line in the chorus, and it kind of like it's a kind of a kickstart to kind of get into the next section, and then as you get into the end, like hearing David Bowie sort of wail, like I got to imagine like Gord Downie loves this song or like tries to imitate this song in some ways. Obviously, if you ever if you ever watched The Perks of Being a Wallflower, this is a big song in it, and it's a great moment. But yeah, I do often think of that, and I think one of the is it Bob Dylan's son's band does the cover of this, or
This is actually one of the more covered songs of all time, so probably.
yeah. And I mean that makes sense. Like it's a pretty simplistic structure, and I think it gives opportunity like people like David Bowie, who's such very charismatic and flamboyant at times, to kind of give it its own style. But yeah.
So yeah, this is a song that I'm actually surprised I have as high as I do, because it's kind of simple. Like the only like quote unquote trick with it is like the build. But there's just something about the way that Bowie performs this song, I think, that it feels like something that's just been in his blood for a long, long time and was finally able to come out. I think I could be wrong. I think this was made after he sobered up. So if that's
so.
it, yeah, if I'm correct about that, I feel like that's like the perfect time for a song like this to come out for him.
Maybe I don't know. The rest of that record is pretty out there.
It is, but so is Bowie. Like even his later stuff
Yeah.
after he was clean. I do love the guitar, like towards the end, like the guitar just kind of like wailing. It's either a tambourine or it's sleigh bells. Like the way it's produced, I can't quite figure it out. But that just like adds like this extra dimension to the soundscape of it. It's one of those ones that I think like I can't quite nail what it is that makes it as great as it is, but I can't deny the quality of the song. But I saw Mr. Roll My Eyes at David Bowie here down below us, so go on.
I mean, it's whatever. It's fine. It's again unfair. It has a movie connection. I don't like Perks of Being a Wallflower. And it's a very overhyped scene in that movie.
I would agree about that though.
But overall, like I get again. I don't like David Bowie. I get why people like David Bowie. So it's not like a visceral hate for his music. It just doesn't work for me. The visceral, like how I feel about Bob Dylan versus David Bowie is night and day. I think you make Bob Dylan show up 12 years later, he don't have a career. Nothing. Like, I think he's terrible. David Bowie makes perfect sense. Probably before his time, still made it very popular, like charisma, all different kinds of songs. Just doesn't check the box. Now give me him and Freddie Mercury doing something new. But other than that, nah.
I get that. I can respect that. But don't worry. This is the last time we're talking about David Bowie. This is the highest song.
Are we done with Bob Dylan?
Yeah, he doesn't pop up again.
Thank God we did. We did.
All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix comes in at number 16. So I mean, first of all, it's Jimi fucking Hendrix. Like, but there's just something about there's an edge to this performance that is just incredible. Like the absolute sheer effortless effort in a sense that Jimi look it makes sense, but that Jimi uses like on this song is just really, really great. Those lyrics capture you right away. Like that opening line of "There must be some kind of way out of here," said the Joker to the thief. "There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief." Just like real good imagery, and Jimmy delivers that incredibly well. And then, like, come on, the dude was arguably the greatest guitarist of all time. So it's just, it feels raw. It feels absolutely raw. I have a hard time describing this one, but it is long, but it flies by. So it is just a great, great piece. Even though it may not be my favorite, I think it is his best.
What version are we talking about? Like, how long is the one that everybody listened to?
The one on the list itself was.
It is. Oh, okay. I'm probably thinking of like the live version, but it's still 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, you said long. I was like, this doesn't seem long to me. Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. So I agree with you, Andrew. And I forgot exactly what it was. I think there was a cutout or something. But it's weird looking at these rankings and you having it higher than me, given how much I've talked about Jimi Hendrix and like I've put him as probably as like the best guitarist. I think he's influenced so many people. But what I like about this song, and it's kind of been a trend, especially like with Heroes, I think this does a really good job of adjusting the dial, like from soft to really heavy. It gives Jimmy a chance to really shine the lyrics through the verses and whatnot, and then you get that patented sort of madness from Noel Redding on bass, and in particular Mitch Mitchell on the drums. He does incredible work. I believe it's the same members from The Experience. I could be wrong.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy to think that like I wouldn't say that this is Jimi Hendrix's best like guitar work, but as in terms of like an overall band, this is the most cohesive that they sound together. And again, I think we're talking about it. Yeah. So we were talking about it with Heroes as well, and like the little slide guitar, and it gives it that like that Bayou sort of feel, and whatnot. But yeah, I think my favorite line in the song, and I think the one that Jimmy really accentuates, is outside in the cold distance, a wildcat did growl, two riders were approaching, and in the wind they began to howl, and then he just goes off on an incredible solo. Yeah.
Cody, what are your thoughts on this one?
So I don't care about a guitar player at all. Best guitar player, any of them. I don't know. I don't know what stands like. I think this may sound unpopular. I think Jimi Hendrix gets a lot of credit because probably at the time, not a lot of people were doing what he was doing, per se. So I think he like stands out, especially like the imagery of Jimi Hendrix is still very strong. So, sure, he could take that title. I'm not a huge Jimi Hendrix fan overall. This song I get, like I like this song. It's very iconic. It's as soon as it starts, I know exactly what's playing. So I expected this to probably be somewhere on the list. Top 20, maybe a little high for me overall, but like I can't argue that he probably doesn't deserve a place in that top 25. Like, but like, yeah, I couldn't. The guitar. I think Rolling Stone came out with a list of their guitar players. Was that them, or was there somebody else? And it was like one of the most like dumbest. But yeah, like it's like I guess that's just under interpretation. Like I mean, I guess solos play a factor into that, but like overall, like when they play within their songs, like it's what the song gives. You know, it's like a weird measuring contest. Like best drummer, give it to the guy with one arm. Like, I don't know. Like, he's doing it. Like, that makes more sense. I don't know. But, yeah, Jimi Hendrix lighting a guitar on fire breaks it. Those Woodstock images are still, like, this many years later, still, like, burned in people's brains. So, like, yeah, he's done enough to stand there. Plus, gone way too young, too, right? 27?
Yeah, 27
yeah. Close. Yeah. Crazy. What he could have done. Like, if he could give that man 10 more years, like,
Brooklyn, are we forgetting something about this song?
We are. I want to ask one question first, Cody. In terms of lyrics, what would you think of this song? Like, would you say that this is a good story?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's a Bob Dylan song. It's a cover of a Bob Dylan song.
And
So Bob Dylan
Jimmy,
technically pops up again.
Jimmy
Okay.
doesn't change a ton either. It kind of keeps the same rhythm.
What is this like a gotcha moment?
No, not really, but like,
Because guess what? The man can stand and write all the thing. He can't sing a lick. Shouldn't be anywhere near.
Oh no.
He
Bob
sounds like our two presidential candidates trying to talk right now. Get off the stage, Grandpa. What are you doing?
Bob Dylan did famously come out and say, "That's not my song anymore. That's Jimi Hendrix's song."
No. And
So-
yeah, even
No,
anytime that he tried
shit.
to do it after this, yeah, he gave it a more electric feel.
Yeah, he looks at that and goes, "Oh God, I can't. My mouth doesn't open as fast as that, or I can't even do any of the stuff." Yeah, shocker.
It's just the moment that you said that, literally before this song popped up, I was like, "We're holding it."
Well, that's why when you look it up, when you
The
search
scenes.
it, it's got when you type in all along the Watchtower, 3 people show up. It's Jimi Hendrix, it's Bob Dylan, and Dave Matthews. So I was like, apparently they maybe have covered it or done something.
Yeah, they did.
I figured Dylan did something with it. So
All right, we're gonna move on to number 15. That being Tiny Dancer by Elton John. It's Tiny Dancer. What else am I gonna say? Everybody knows Tiny Dancer. Everybody loves Tiny Dancer. The piano line is just like absolutely, like, it's like a ballerina dancing on a fucking cloud. I don't know. What do you want me to say about this? I do want to add some things. Like, I love like that slide guitar kind of effect. I'm sorry, not slide guitar. Jesus Christ, what am I saying? The
Which
you know,
moment are you
Brooklyn,
trying
just
to?
go.
No,
Brooklyn,
no.
you go.
Which moment? We're gonna help you through this. We're gonna identify the instrument.
It's in the. It's like right before
Piccolo.
It is like a woodwind instrument or something, but I can't
Flute.
quite place. It's something. It's like it's like floating in the background at some point. Anyway,
Okay,
point
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's a nice little touch production, like in the production. But yeah, I tripped up over myself. Let's just go to Brooklyn. The song's great.
Yeah. So, surprise, if you haven't figured it out yet, Andrew, Cody, and I are big fans of Elton John. Elton John and Billy Joel are the most discussed artists, I think, of the group in its entirety. But this is one that is like, I think it's in the top 5, but there's obviously other ones that I have ranked higher. I think how it gets its spot on the list is actually the second time hearing it, because the first time you can get the argument of like, it's a bit long in the tooth, like it takes a while to get to the chorus, and there's YouTube videos that kind of break it down, and like how he does basically a second verse before the chorus to kind of build up that tension, and then you get to the moment of like, oh, how it feels so real, and then the strings come in, and it packs such a punch that when you go back to it a second time, you can anticipate it kind of going into it. The moment that it has in Almost Famous is one of the most overrated scenes for me. Like, you guys talk about Perks being a wallflower. That scene, I was just like, this is so much more hyped up than it needs to be, and it's like it's in a weird spot in the movie. But yeah, it's a great little like all the tension that they build. The second that they get to the chorus, there's that big sigh of relief, like "Hold Me Closer, Tiny Dancer." The strings are doing a lot of the heavy lifting in it, and Elton has always excelled incredibly with strings, as do a lot of other artists that we're talking about. So if you want an incredible song from the 70s, you should probably have strings.
Cody, I mean, like, we know.
Yes, sorry, I thought I was muted. Yeah. So, not my favorite Elton John song. Not even close, probably. I disagree with Brooklyn on the scene. I think the scene is doing heavy lifting. Why this song is in the in the pop culture of today. I think the song fits really well into the scene. Personally, I just think like band just totally drained, and they're all just the song comes on, they sing along with it. Makes perfect sense to me. But overall, like I like it a lot. I just choose like we had your song last week, right?
Yeah.
Like that song for me is way better than Tiny Dancer. It just is. I need a just a white man and a piano most of the time for me to just dig songs. Elton John, Billy Joel are great. Like they just work for me. They just their kind of music is. It's very weird because like Elton is known to be like a very flamboyant, like out there guy, and like this is a very like some of his favorite songs are his more subdued for me. But overall, I'm not gonna argue with Tiny Dancer. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "How dare you?" Like, I'll 515, I'll take it. It's just not any spot for Elton is fine. Just I would have rather him be a different song be in the spot because I think he has so many songs that people just don't know that they need to check out.
Yeah.
Along with Billy Joel.
We should do that list again sometime. That was fun. I found the doc of the old list.
Yeah, if we did like the Rankum style of that one, that was like, it was a wild time. But yes, I would be down.
All right. Well, then, moving on to number 14 on our list. Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana.
Hugh Jackman? Okay.
Thank you for the reference, Cody. It was so good to see you. Cody Newberry, everybody. Anyway, that was Cody Newberry. All right. Yeah, so this is one of the ones that I feel like I kind of just didn't want to put on my list when I was first making it, simply because it's one of those songs that like everybody always talks about, and you know, I think it was like number 9 on the Rolling Stone list, and as I was making my list and I was like listening to it more and more, the more and more I was like, is this Nirvana's best song? Technically speaking, it probably is. Because everything about it's guitar, bass, and drums. It's super simple, but the chord structure on, and I'm not like Brooklyn. I don't talk about like the chord structure about songs a lot. I'm more of like a production and like layering and stuff like that. But like the chord progression is just really interesting and unique stuff. And even just like the simple little bow 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 just like adds like this extra tension in the atmosphere of the song, like a riot is about to break out at any second. It's people are gonna tell me I'm weird for saying this, and I understand, but like it kind of reminds me of the theme from Jaws, where it's just dun dun. It's just those 2 notes, but it adds like a real, as I said, tension before. Yeah, it's the song on the verge of some kind of explosion, literal and metaphorical.
Yeah, this is absolutely a song kind of at the right place at the right time. There was definitely a lot of angst. We don't get the emo phase, I think, without this sort of initial sort of 90s sort of kick. I don't know if I've ever said this on the show before, but my top 500 list is actually called The Holy Grail. So that tells you how much I love David Grohl. But it's weird. I don't hold Nirvana in that same sort of thing, because that is very much like Kurt Cobain's project. He was the frontman on it. But I agree with you, Andrew, and that like musician wise, it's incredible. This is another one like for Kurt's guitar work. There are levels to it, and like if you want to do like an authentic sort of like replication of his cover, there's so much technique that you have to do, and in a way that you almost have to like play it intentionally sloppy to sort of hit everything. Chris Novoselic is doing incredible work on the bass. There's a really nice groove, especially in between that initial riff and the chorus. It's holding everything down so that you have that little like doo-doo moment, and it just kind of gives it the flair. But it's Dave Grohl that I really want to talk about, because something about this song I think will blow people's minds. That drum beat is heavily influenced by disco. It's on like the YouTube reels or the whatever, however you consume your shorts. There's an interview that Dave Grohl does with Pharrell. Shorts, reels, clips, I don't know, vines. Vines is now the singular word. But Pharrell has an interview with Dave Grohl, and Dave Grohl is like, yeah, like it's like Gap Band and Cameo and like Tony Thompson are guys that influenced me. And one time Dave Grohl invited Tony Thompson over to a barbecue and like went to personally thank him. Is like, I've ripped you off for so many years. And Tony Thompson is like, yeah, I know. Like I hear that sound in your song. So it's crazy that like one of the best grunge songs starts with a disco beat.
Cody.
I think this is one of those songs that would have created uproar if not included, but I would have been okay if it wasn't included, if that makes any sense.
Yes, I get it.
This is the toughest of the section that I could be like, I understand.
Yeah, so like I don't know. And it's definitely from like where I like this song has just been played for so long now, and it's like dad showing their kids it, there's their kids showing their other friend, like it's just like it was almost I can just imagine the time it came out, right? It was like, whoa, this stuff is just like not the normal music, like the mainstream questionable, like would make like, you know, mothers clench their pearls. Like, what is this music my kid is listening to? They're gonna start worshiping the devil. Like, it's mainstream, but it's like that version of it. Yeah, I mean, Nirvana. Like, I remember going to high school, and you know, as well after Kirk passed away and stuff, and it was like, this band Nirvana is like the greatest band ever. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what? Like, it's just weird. Like, it was the popular, it was like the indie version of like classical music people like. I don't know. Smell Like Teen Spirit. Like, again, it's no shot to it. It's completely for whoever did this. I can't hear the song without picturing Hugh Jackman standing up with a bald head and just singing. I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. If Kurt Cobain was alive, like I can just imagine his reaction to it. But overall, it's the one that you can't tell me it doesn't deserve on it. But I would have been okay at the end of it, starring it and be like, "Of this would have made the list." But come on, it smelled like Teen Spirit. Like, we don't need to talk about it anymore. But hey, you both had it high. Still ranks this high. Still has this thing. So hats off to it.
Yeah. Like, I would argue that this is technically their best song, even though I prefer Heart Shaped Box.
I guarantee it's the most well-known from this song.
Exactly.
Like, I guarantee there's people that have never heard any of the other ones.
I've been on a very, very fun kick of Where Did You Sleep Last Night?
Oh, yeah. All right, moving on to number 13, Juicy by the Notorious B.I.G.
Don't ever want to hear you say that title again.
What, Juicy?
Oh.
Okay, so this, I'm not going to spoil what my number one is, but this was my number 2 hip-hop song on my list. I think that the storytelling in this song is top-notch, incredible, like S tier. I've said it before, I think Biggie Smalls was a genius, and I mean that in like a literal sense when it comes to music. But it really is the lyricism on this song that's just absolutely incredible. Like, he breaks it down from even the beginning, when he's talking about this album's dedicated to all the teachers that told me I'd never amount to nothing, to all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling in front of, calling on police. And like, you start at like where he was, and then as it builds to I think the line was like, when I was dead broke man. I never pictured this. And then the like building up to like the point that he has a Sega Genesis now. It is the antithesis of Rags to Riches, but done in a way where he sounds grateful instead of bragging about it. And that's a problem I have with like a lot of hip hop songs that kind of follow this vein. They sound more like they're bragging about it instead of just like telling the story of, hey man, I was in like a shithole, but like now I'm here and like I'm enjoying the life that I have. It just seems very personal, very sincere, very direct, very honest. And I'm not going to mention his name because he's already a controversial figure now, but the man's production work on this song is really, really strong. It kind of has like this dreamlike quality with what I think of like maybe like chimes or like some kind of synthesizer. It's something like that. It's just an overall great song.
All right, so a couple things. That opening intro, I have reason to believe that like that was kind of written afterwards. Like I feel like when he was writing the song, it started with "It Was All a Dream," because like looking back on it, that section kind of feels like an edit, like almost like an editor's note. It's leading me to say probably the whitest thing that I've ever said about this song. This song, like that section in particular, reminds me of like a snowboarder that's about to go into a half pipe, and like that first section is like him like thinking about what to do, and then you get to "It Was All a Dream," and how that beat kicks in is just him like dropping in, or like you could use any sort of like extreme sports analogy, but I love how it goes right into the groove, and then each lyric is fucking incredible. Like you think about iconic hip hop lyrics. It Was All a Dream. Used to read Word Up magazines. Like everybody knows about Mr. Magic Marley Marl. I think my favorite line later on is actually in that Sega Genesis verse you were talking about, Andrew. It's the where is it here? Oh
Here
yeah. Yeah. We used to fuss when the landlord dissed us. No heat. Wonder why Christmas missed us. Like it's just like it's that kick. It's like that punch in the gut sort of feeling. And then yeah, it's like the bass line in this is incredible. I was looking to see where this is on my list. This is also my number 2 hip hop song. But there's actually it's a weird sort of like 3 in a row. It goes All Right, Kendrick Lamar, Bombs for Baghdad, and then this 39 through 37. So,
Cody, let's go to you.
So him, Pac, all this stuff has been popping up more and more since certain 2 other rappers decided to get into beef with each other. Well, one decided to lay the other to rest, but that's besides the point. Pour one out for Toronto zone. Either way, man, down bad.
RKO.
He not like us.
Not like us. Please, also, this is just my public thing. Stop using "Not Like Us" in sporting events in regular season games. It will work really great when you eliminate a team from the playoffs and then you say "Not Like Us." When you do it in game 2 of a 3-game series, doesn't make any sense. Stop using it. That's besides the point. I'm not. I wouldn't say that I'm very versed in Notorious B.I.G. or Tupac's like music. So I've heard the song a couple times prior, but not like actively listened to it. Before this week, when I told you, does this deserve a top 20 spot? No, guys, sorry. After it, does it deserve a top 20 spot? Probably still no for me. But it's a lot closer in the top 100 than it would have been prior. I think he deserves the representation, and I think that kind of hip hop does. The lyrics are real strong. He's so good with. It's gonna sound like a fucking bar with his flow. It just sounds. He sounds so good on this song, so it makes sense. It may be more and more listens will get that thing, but again. as somebody that doesn't actively listen to Big as much as he probably could or should, I think it's good that people will look at this and be like, "Oh, I've never heard," or if they don't know that song or they don't know much about him, maybe they'll go visit it. So, good choice.
Nice. All right, cool. We'll take that. Moving on to number 12, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. And out there somewhere, Coho is screaming his head off. Brooklyn, you have this one higher.
Yeah, I mean, is there an argument? I mean, this is the iconic Michael Jackson song. It gave him the moonwalk. Thriller's the better music video. This is the best Michael Jackson song. You ask 100 people, this is by far the best Michael Jackson song. Did you want to pipe in?
Best or most well known?
Best.
Wrong. Like, I agree with you. This is probably the most well-known Michael Jackson song. His best, I will not give him that. But proceed. Candace.
Okay. And anyways, there's in the opening, there's a bit of like a mystery because I'm not sure what it's doing. It's doing one of two things. One, it's either speeding up the beat a little bit because the key is just a little bit different, or I don't know if they're doing what other songs do. Mrs. Robinson kind of does this, where the tuning of all the instruments is kind of like in a weird setting. So I forget the actual numbers for it, but like when you're tuning a guitar to certain notes, it's based on like hertz, and then like if you go in between, you can kind of have this like unique sort of sound. And I think it's kind of doing that to kind of stand out from everything, kind of in the same vein why like Simpsons chose yellow for their skin to kind of grab the attention of the ear because it sounds different. But like the bass line is incredible. I'm trying to look up the name of the guitarist on this track in particular, or even just on Thriller in general. Where are you? I don't know. I'll find it later. But anyways, again, we're talking about incredible choruses. Everybody knows Billie Jean is not my lover, just the girl that claims that I am the one, and everybody loves to hit that high note, and then the little like after effect after, like the kid is not my son. But like the second verse, I think, does such a good job. Like for 40 days and 40 nights, love was on her side, but who can stand when she's in demand? Her schemes end, and like just how Michael delivers the lines. Like I was thinking about it, like listening to it on the way into work, is that like, could you give this to somebody else? And I don't think you can. Like Michael is really kind of the only person that could like crush this out of the park like he has. Andrew, you talk and I'll figure out who this lead guitarist is.
Will do. I'm gonna touch briefly on what you said. There's only one other person who's ever touched this song and done a really good job with it. It's just a completely different sound to it. The Chris Cornell cover of this song is actually really, really good.
The Civil Wars do a cover of it. I like it for slow downness, but it's not in the same conversation that this one is.
Yeah, and as long as we both agree that the Fall Out Boy cover of this song is hot garbage.
They do a cover of this. Isn't it? I thought it was "Beat It." Was the
Michael Jackson It "Beat It"? Okay.
It is
Either way, it was garbage.
Featuring John Mayer on lead guitar.
Great, it's still garbage. Sorry guys, I like some of your stuff. But I think Quincy Jones really gets to shine on this one. Like, first of all, that bass line is just really, really good. Like, it kind of already creates this like moody, dark atmosphere, like something's about to go down. And you add that with the little synth of those little like breaks, just like or like hearing the cracks as you're walking on ice almost. And then, yeah, Michael on this song it's really good. It's not his best performance, but it is still a fantastic job. Quincy apparently did not want this song to be released as a single, but Michael fought for it, and I'm actually really glad that Michael fought for it, because it's just an incredible piece, and everyone knows Billie Jean already. It's great.
The guitarist in particular is David Williams, who does the guitar work on this.
Oh yeah, the guitar work is great.
Yeah, Thriller's got a fuck ton of personnel on it. Like considering how much is often used to make an album today, it's almost like double, maybe even triple.
All right, Cody.
I mean, it's not the best Michael Jackson song. It's a good song. It's probably his most well-known song. I enjoy it. I will never turn it off. There will be no time. I just think there are better songs of his. But for what it stands, I will agree with Brooklyn. The song can't be passed to anybody. Like, I think you would commit professional suicide, like if you tried to like cover this song.
Yeah.
I just think it would be so dumb. Like no, there's no other Michael. Like years past, still there's no other Michael. Like I don't know if there ever will be again. I can't put a time on it, but like for somebody to be that theatrical and incredibly vocally, like that's just something that just is just for him to be able to move the way he moved and sing just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense in the laws of physics. Like there's impersonators, there's people that try, but like his dance moves and singing and like this song, like I grew up in the music video era, I would say. Like TRL was very big. But like I know this music video. I know the light up as he walks. I know like that like which is just stands like I don't watch music videos, but I know this one for 100%. So this is the last Michael song, I'm guessing.
Yes, it is. I don't believe anybody in this section of the list appears again. I think it's the last time that all of these people appear.
The top 10 is going to be very interesting.
Yes, it's the last time any of these people appear. So
panic attack.
Let's move on to the last song on this episode, "Superstition" by Stevie Wonder. Brooklyn, you have it higher.
This is the litmus test for funk cover bands. If you want to be a good funk band, you have to know this song and you have to be able to play this song flawlessly. When this song gets into the unison of like the bass, the horns, and the guitar, and they're all doing that intricate lick, it's so smooth, and how they're able to kind of all hit it off. Even the opening drum beat, it takes maybe like 12 hits of the drum kit in particular, and you already know what song you're in. With an incredible funk song, you have a great like rhythm and groove into it. And then like we're talking about the unison of the horns and whatnot. When that comes in the second half, I think it's an incredible. It's a very smart choice for the song to kind of give it a bit of an ebb and flow. I really like the part when he gets into like the second verse, like "Keep Me in a Daydream," and then he's starting to loosen up in the song a little bit. He starts very kind of like articulate at the beginning, but then one of the best payoffs in a chorus, like when you believe the things you don't understand, then you suffer, and then you get that little like the little 2 hits of the snare, and like very similar to kind of like Dave Grohl, like we were talking about Nirvana, and then the little buzz of the horns, and then we're right back into it, and it's one of the tightest, most effective loops, and everybody covers it, and it sounds great every time.
Brooklyn took most of the things that I was going to say about this song, if we're going to be completely honest. I love like the jitteriness that the horns provide just before getting into "Superstition Ain't the Way." Hey, hey. Like, as Brooklyn said, the moment that you hear the opening drums, like you don't even have to hear the synthesizer. Like you know exactly what song this is. And for a song to do that on like just an opening like drum beat alone, not always easy to do. Yeah, Stevie just is throwing himself into this performance. Yeah, I can't really say much more than what Brooklyn said. So it's Superstition by Stevie Wonder. Cody, this is the last song of the episode, worthy of being number 11?
Well, when he was saying like a funk band, which if I'm in a place where a funk band or a cover funk band is playing, something went wrong. Like I went out of the house for too long, so time to get back inside. Either way, I would just think like even playing this and then like, even if you can play correctly, you got somebody who can sing it. Like that's impressive alone. Like that's just like so much to go into one song. This is not my favorite Stevie Wonder song. I've made that very clear. Brooklyn, I think, has argued one is overrated, but Signed, Sealed, Delivered is my all-time favorite.
Man, great callback.
Yeah, I got you. I'm an elephant I never forget. But Signed, Sealed, Delivered is my favorite. I enjoy that. Superstition, I think, is probably his most well-known. Like he's played a lot. Like I remember this one playing like on the radio. But he's got an absolute just. He's so crazy, and I did say like, give me a white piano player. I will also take an African American blind piano player too in my kind of music. So I do not discriminate on that side. I just want on the record because yeah, I have no arguments with Stevie Wonder being in your top 20. Like, man's insane. Like, yeah.
So I was double checking
his last song too.
It is the last song of Stevie Wonder's to appear. I was double checking something real fast because I thought that this was the exact same spot on the Rolling Stone list. It's actually one lower, but I think this is the closest that our list got to where something was ranked in the Stones list. So, all right. Rolling Stones, you got this one. Fair. You got one.
Proud of you.
All right, let's wrap this up because I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. Number 20 is A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. Number 19 is The Boxer by Simon & Garfunkel. Number 18 is Bombs Over Baghdad by Outkast. Then at 17, we have Heroes by David Bowie. All Along the Watchtower by Jimi Hendrix. The Jimi Hendrix Experience at number 16. Elton John comes in with Tiny Dancer at number 15. Number 14, we have Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. Number 13, we have Juicy by the Notorious B.I.G. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson comes in at number 12. And at number 11, we have Superstition by Stevie Wonder. So, Cody, I have just dropped the top 10 in the chat. Take a look. Give us your thoughts.
Oh.
And then we're going to give you a little surprise.
Oh. Okay. So, let me make sure I count this correctly. Yeah. Okay. There's a few I have question marks about, but I would say that's 30% of the list. The rest are definitely deserving of the top 10 spots.
Okay. So, Cody, what we're going to do next episode for the finale is...
Lobotomize me?
In a sense. It'll just be less painful and more with electricity. No. We're going to ask you what you think the top 10 order is, because that's out of order.
Okay.
And then if you get at least 5 right,
okay,
we're going to give you a little extra prize at the end. We won't tell you exactly what that is. We're going to save that. But if you get at least 5 correct.
In the exact spot.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay. If I just have one off, it literally throws everything else off.
You know what, Brooklyn? Let's make this easier. Let's make it 4.
Yeah, four's a good number.
Yeah. 4 is a good number. If you get 4 of these in the exact spot, we're going to give you a little extra prize at the end. Since you've been with us for so many episodes.
Yes. The
So.
half owner of this channel.
Yeah.
Creative director, I should say.
Co-founder.
Thank you all so much for watching. I am Andrew James Barr. That is Cody Newberry. That is Brooklyn Vale. And keep on rocking, y'all.
Drive safely.